Greetings, Commanders, and welcome back to the Deep Space Carrier series here in Elite Dangerous. In the last episode, we found ourselves a nice, I think it was either a 4 or 6 biology planet. It had quite a bit on it. So we're going to spend most of the first part of today's episode scanning these and getting those done. The purpose of all of this has been we're on our maiden voyage with our fleet carrier heading out to Colonia, trying to just get used to being out in space. That's the first time in a long time I've seen Frutexa out in the open like this. Usually it's in a hard-to-land area. I chose Colonia as our first destination because, you know, there's stations and stuff along the way to kind of save me from any mistakes that I might make on our way out there. So ideally, by the time we get out there and everything, we'll have figured out all of our issues. Let's see, I'm going to try to land right here. My recording schedule this week is a little bit weird because I've had a thing happen this week that has just kind of thrown off my routine. So rather than trying to figure out some kind of crazy way of making that work again, I'm just gonna record episodes when I can record them and then be done when I'm done. And so this week might be a little bit weird. There might be 5 rather than 7 episodes because I typically would do 2 episodes in a day for a couple of days to cover my days off. But this whole week has just been kind of weird. So I'm just gonna record as normal, and it is what it is. And there'll just be a couple of days where I don't have videos, which doesn't really make much of a difference for those of you who don't really care about that, but it makes a difference for me because the algorithm doesn't like it when you change your schedule. It always seems to punish me a little bit when I do that. But not your problem. It is what it is. That's just what I'm going to do. Before we get too far into the video, I'd like to ask you to help us to reach 10,000 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button. The number does not go up unless you actually press the button, so be sure to go ahead and do that now. Hit the like button to help the video spread out to more people so that they can watch the content as well. And then when you're done watching this video, we have more than 1,600 videos, probably getting pretty close to 1,700 by now, on the channel that you can watch. They are organized into nice, neat playlists to make it easy for you to find whatever it is that you're looking for. And I play a bunch of different kinds of games. So, you know, whether it's space or RPGs or whatever it is, you're bound to find something that you like to watch. I recently got... Ooh, I think we might want to take a look at that. I recently, just yesterday, this is our Alioida that we're looking for. Just yesterday, I started getting back into my Hunter Call of the Wild content because I took a long break from that. Because what ended up happening was I was trying to walk across all of the maps and get everything unlocked, all of the points of interest and everything unlocked, and that took months to do. And by the time I got to the end of it, Alioida Lemonade, that's cool. By the time I got to the end of all of that, I was really burnt out on the Call of the Wild content, so I've taken several months off from that. But now that I've had a bit of a break, I'm kind of ready to dive back into that content again and start working on hopefully grabbing trophies and, you know, finishing up grabbing all of the gold trophies we weren't able to grab, finish up, and then start grabbing as many of the diamond trophies as I can get. That would be pretty sweet. The Call of the Wild content, I think, was like the first content that I really started doing seriously on this channel when I decided to make this, try to like go for full time on this. I'm still not. I'm full time, sort of. I'm not really full time. I'm full-time in spirit, just not in getting paid. we got a while yet for that. So, you know, people talk about going YouTube full-time. I'm only full-time because my life circumstances allow me to do it full-time, not because it actually supports me. I want to make sure I'm clear about that. Let's see here. Just trying to find one more of these Alioida. Yep, here we go. So that'll finish up the Alioida. I don't remember what specific species were here. So, we've gotten the Frutexa and the Alioida now. I want to look and try to find. I'm pretty sure there was Tussock, and I don't know what the other ones were. I do remember that we did get First Footfall. I saw that pop up as we were ending the last episode. So we're gonna get a fairly decent amount of cash out of this, but I don't remember what all the species were. There are 6 signals, so we've gotten 2 out of those. If I see the bacteria, I'll definitely grab that. But now I need to really be looking out for... Tussock. See if we can find some of that. So I think what I might do is I might turn back around, because the grassy stuff was back this way. And I'm pretty sure that the things that we're finding right now is all Frutexa. Like any of the grass. This might be what we're looking for, though. I can't tell. We'll check it. I think this looks more like Frutexa than Tussock. Tussock tends to be shorter, stubbier looking. Yeah, this is definitely Frutexa. What? Fungoida. Oh, yeah. I forgot about Fungoida. It's really nice when you get on a planet like this that has a bunch of biodiversity on it, and everything is pretty much out in the open and easy to get to. There's a lot of times where we're doing this. So let's see here. Okay, seriously? Can we stop slamming into the ground? There's a lot of times when we were doing this before, and all of that kind of stuff ended up showing up in like really rough terrain areas where my larger ships could not land. So now we're of course, now we're in the small ship where it would be much easier to land in those kind of areas, and we're finding everything out in the open. Then we'll switch over to a medium or a large ship, and we'll find them in rough patches again. That's just the way it always seems to work. It always seems to work. Whatever contingency you try to plan for, they throw you the opposite of what you did. That's always the way it kind of works. All right, so that's 2 out of the 3. Speaking of that, I do need to pull up Observatory so that when we hop back out into space and start scanning things, we will be able to know what's going on and maybe find some interesting things to look at. So yeah, it's a little third-party monitoring program for those of you who don't know that kind of points out interesting features so long as you have them selected as things for it to warn you about. Okay, so I'm thinking that as long as we stay out on these little flat areas here, we should be able to find more of the Fungoida. It does seem to render a fair bit further out than most of the other stuff that we've seen. It's like I can already kind of see it over here. So ideally, this is going to be the last of the Fungoida samples that we need. So we've gotten Alioida, we've gotten Fungoida, and we've gotten, what was the first thing we got? The Frutexa. So I would imagine there's a bacteria. That would be, I mean, there's definitely a bacteria of some kind. And then I would imagine there's probably tussock as well, which is like grass. Unfortunately, there is a thing where a lot of times the distribution is such that you can't get all of everything in the one area that you are. So realistically, we probably found everything that we're gonna find in this part of the planet, which means that if we want to find more, we probably have to leave the atmosphere, go up and search for the things that we haven't found yet. And this looks like it's going to be, yeah, it's all Alioida. And so what I would typically look for is different color terrain to mark where, you know, new stuff might be. But on these red planets, the far away stuff looks very tan, and then as you get closer to it, you start to realize, oh, it's just red. So the best way to do this most of the time is just to leave the planet, go back up, look at the distribution maps, and see if, and then find another spot where it's telling you these specific things you're looking for might be. That's usually the best way to do it if you're trying to get everything. I'm still on, I mean, we've spent a lot of time looking for this already, so I don't know if I'm going to waste my time trying to find the other species, especially since I haven't found bacteria. Bacteria is usually all over the place, but the color of the bacteria can easily dictate how easy it is to find. If it's more or less the same color as what you're looking for, then a lot of times it can be really hard to... Ooh. I think that was Frutexa, but I want to go check it out. I'm sorry. I think that was I think this is Fungoida, but I just want to check it out real quick. They have stalks in it. Yeah, that's Fungoida. All right. I mean, I guess we don't really have anything else to do. I'm assuming that this is going to be my last episode for the week because, just like I said earlier, my recording schedule is just kind of really messed up. So I'd rather just I think I'd rather just go ahead and call this the end of my week, because I would normally, today would normally be my last day of recording, and then I would be done until the live stream on Sunday. Which, speaking of that, we do have the carrier reposition live stream every Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific. So if you're interested in following our journey, you can always come and hang out for that. I try to have a bunch of things to talk about. I'm also trying to put together a sort of galactic racing league, or whatever it is you want to call it, to make it so that the explorers have another thing to do, trying to find racetracks and things like that, and then people who are interested in racing can come station themselves on the carrier and be able to do that. So that would be, oh yeah, Stratum and Tusk. So the Tusk and the Stratum appear to be in about the same place. So we'll set the Stratum as our goal, and then we'll head back down and hopefully find the last two things that we need. So I'm going to go at our 12 o'clock here, the big patch up there at our 12 o'clock, and try to make that where we're going to find a couple more things. And then I think once we finish scanning this, we'll start heading back towards the carrier, get landed, get paid, and then call it good for this week.
Orbital flight engaged.
All right. Get down to the surface. Alright, I should be able to full throttle at this point and it'll be fine. Okay. And then we just glide back down and do it again. So at the very least, I would like to find the Stratum and preferably the Tusk. If we don't find the bacteria, I think 5 out of 6 is perfectly acceptable, and I don't typically worry about going after the bacteria unless it's just conveniently placed anyway, so I'm not overly concerned about it. Let's get ourselves down to the surface, try to find a relatively flat area to do this. Start slowing down so that ideally I don't slam into the surface. Get the landing gear down. And ideally, we should start seeing some stratum popping up. Oh, there's the bacteria. I don't want to commit myself to that, though, because I really want... oh, this is a different kind of stratum. So you can see that you can kind of see the tussock off in the kind of... I don't have a mouse cursor, but the little black spots that you can... I don't know if you can see it in the YouTube algorithm with the YouTube compression and all of that, but there's some black spots that you can see that make it clear what that is, what you're doing there. So let's see. We're going to disembark. And I don't recall having seen this type of this kind of stratum before, so this is different for me. What kind of stratum is this? Stratum laminomus. Okay, that's yeah, that's kind of interesting. I'm pretty sure that's the first time that we on this series have ever come across this, so this is new. Kind of looks like dog poop, but whatever. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like dog poop. It looks like piles of dog poop. So I just need to find some more of that. Alright, I think we found another patch of it here. Yeah, I'm sorry, it looks like dog poop to me. It looks like light colored dog poop. We just stepped in it. Oops. One more of those, and then we'll try to get the tussock. And then it looks like we're going to go ahead and be able to get all of the samples here, because the last 3 things that we need all appear to be right in the same area with each other. So it shouldn't be that hard to grab everything that we need. That was some tussock that we just flew by. Just need one more patch of the stratum to show up for me. Oh, there, right there. Alright, so we'll grab that, and then we'll start looking for some tussock and grab all of that, and then we'll grab some bacteria and grab all of that. We'll find some bacteria and grab all of that. I want to look and see real quick is there any easily accessible tussock right here? Does not appear to be the case. So what we'll do is we'll turn around, fly back in the direction we came from, and then ideally we'll be able to find the tussock that we need. So, yeah. Didn't quite do that. Didn't do that quite right. A lot of times I can flip myself around like that and stay relatively close to the surface, but that was a bacteria patch we just passed. But again, I really want to go after the tussock more than I want to go after the bacteria. I'll save the bacteria for last. Or not. They seem to be really intent on having me grab that. So we'll go ahead and just grab the bacteria here. We'll go back and grab that other bacterial sample we passed a second ago. Because we're wasting time if we pass too many opportunities up like that. So we'll grab this sample here. We'll turn around and go grab that other sample that we passed a second ago. Well, maybe not. Maybe we'll just keep going off in this direction. Because there is a distance that you have to travel before you get enough genetic diversity for it to be different enough for the scans to matter. So we'll keep going in this direction. Hopefully, well, of course, now there's the tussock that we were looking for. As always, that's the way it always works. And now we're not seeing bacterial samples. Oh, there was one. Oh, there's one right there too. That'll work. Grab this guy here and get one more. And then we can grab tussock, and then we can head back to the carrier. That's what I'm going to do. So, yeah, there's some tussock right there. As always, the one I really wanted is right there when I'm not trying to grab it. Alright, let's try this again. Oh, well. Come on, give me some bacteria. Oh, right there. Alright, this will finish off our bacteria, and then we can head back to the carrier. Or, I'm sorry, we gotta get the tussock. Can't forget the tussock. It's like leaving money on the table when you do that, so gotta make sure we go grab that since we're here, and it's easy to get to. It's not like, if I had to go search for it, there's certain things I wouldn't bother to go get. Like, a lot of times I'll bypass Frutexa if I know it's going to be in the really hard-to-land areas and I don't have the ship for that. You know, certain samples that just aren't worth my time. But there's certain samples like Stratum Tectonicus on a first footfall planet. That's absolutely worth going out of your way to go do. 90 million, easy 90 million credits right there every time you're able to get that to happen. All right. So if I remember correctly, we had several patches of the tussock over here, so just you gotta head off, you gotta stay close to the ground, and you also have to fly relatively slow because the way that these render, they don't render until they're like right under you almost, so you have to be a little bit careful with it. Not because you're worried about running into the ground or anything, but just because a lot of the times if you're going too fast, by the time it renders, you've already gone by it. Which is slightly annoying because, especially if you're not heading in the right direction to find it anyways, you waste a bunch of time flying slowly when you could be covering a bunch of ground. And I'm getting the feeling that we're not even heading in the right direction because I don't feel like we flew this far before the last time we saw some tussock. And we are now rapidly approaching the point where I just don't have the patience for this anymore. And, oh, that might have been some. Alright, here we go. We finally found some. So ideally, because we found this patch here, there should be a couple more patches nearby that will give us the diversity we need. We can grab the last of our bio samples and then head back to the carrier. So yeah, you can see how this is. This looks more like grass rather than plants or, you know, anything like that. Tussock Cultro. It's a cool sounding name. All right, so I'm gonna try to flip around backwards again. All right, sometimes I can get that to work well. It's more impressive if you can do it close to the surface, but a lot of times the terrain is a little too bumpy to do it that close. So I need some more. I think we passed over a patch of it a minute ago, like a few seconds ago, but I was going too fast, and by the time it rendered, I didn't have time to stop. But I guess it means I'm going to pay for that, because that was probably the end of the area where they were spawning there. So this may be one of those situations where they're spread out in a way that makes it hard to find them, and it's just not worth the time it's going to take me to try to find more patches of it. Like, there was a patch right there. Yeah, I'm just done. It's too annoying to mess with that, because they want you to, like, slowly, like, grind your way across the planet to find it, and I don't want to. It would be really nice if they would make it to where, like, those patches of tussock rendered in a way that, all right. If they rendered patches of tussock from far away as more of, like, patches of ground, and then as you get closer to it, it switches over to a 3D view. Because realistically, you would be able to see large patches of grassy stuff from a pretty far distance away. It's a little bit unreasonable to make it to where the render distance is, you have to be right on top of it before you can see it. You know, a large patch of differently colored something would be visible from very far away, and it's only because they insist on rendering it and rendering the three-dimensional model rather than just a patch of it from a distance that makes it harder to find.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
But yeah, once I get to the point where it's like I'm not able to find things relatively quickly, it's like it's not worth my time is too valuable to spend combing over things that way. At a certain point, it's just like, you know what, I'm done with this. And now we're experiencing a loading delay. I don't know if that's server lag or if it's lag on my part or what. There we go. So yeah, we got 10 jump, or we had 10 jumps to go. I'm not really going to do any scanning at this point because we're getting pretty close to the end of our time for an episode. And I would like to get back and get paid before we're done. So get out of here and off we go. Yep. We have, what, 9 jumps left? Yeah. Shouldn't take too long to get 9 jumps done. 7 or 8 minutes, something like that. I keep forgetting to get... Oh, here we go. I keep forgetting to get rid of... yep, we just had a fleet... We have carrier upkeep charge happen, so... Ideally, we're going to head back to the carrier, and we will have made enough money to pay for that, plus a little extra. The carrier upkeep for my fleet carrier is something like 33 million credits every week. So that's a lot of money. I have enough in my balance to last it for, to pay for my fleet carrier for several months, I think. But at the same time, I try not to take the attitude of, oh, well, I have the money, so I don't have to worry about it. It's like, when you start thinking I have the money and I don't have to worry about it, that's when you end up spending all of your money and then you don't have any money anymore. So I try to make sure I'm a little bit more paranoid about it than I probably need, than most people would probably think I need to be. But that's how rich people stay rich. They stay rich by pretending like they don't have any money. Few more jumps to go, and then we'll find out how much we made this week. It's a big star. When you sit there in the fuel scooping area like that, it usually means that's a really big star.
Frameshift drive charging.
Alright. So, yeah, like I said, after today's episode, I would normally be saying something to the effect of, oh, in a couple of hours, we're going to be doing our weekly carrier reposition live stream, but I'm not going to be able to record the extra episodes I normally record just because of the way this week is going. So this episode will air tomorrow, which will be, I think, Friday as of today. And then it'll be a couple of days until we actually do the live stream. That's all right. Sometimes life throws you curveballs, and you got to figure out how to adjust to them.
Fuel scooping complete.
Get our jump there. All right. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just put a cut in here because we're not going to be doing anything particularly interesting. We're just going to finish up these last few jumps, and that's not exactly fun to watch. So I think I will pause the recording and see you once we get to the fleet carrier. All right, we're on our last jump back to where the fleet carrier is, so we will finish this up, get paid, and chill out till we're ready to move the carrier again. This guy is over there. For whatever reason, our carrier ended up dropping out quite a ways away. So 66C is what we're looking for. I did a little bit too early, but that's all right. Get ourselves locked in with the Super Cruise Assist. I'm going to try to bump it and just keep it at like 6 seconds to kind of minimize the time. I find on these... Oh, I might have did it a little too early. I find on these smaller ships, if you bump it down to 5 seconds, you can do like a quick drop with the Super Cruise Assist, but I find on these smaller ships it's much harder to do than on the larger ones. So it's a good chance we're going to overshoot this. Oh, nope, it worked out. Okay. Sometimes I can make it happen. You got to be really careful to make sure that your ship is pointed at the location that you're trying to drop, and you can usually make it work without having to do the really slow version of the drop. But
this carrier respects considerate pilots. Fly safely, Commander.
All right, I can see our docking area over here. I can't tell what side the numbers... Okay, it's on this side, so we're going to need to do a little bit of a flip here. Unfortunately...
Deploy your landing gear, Commander.
I thought I did. I could have swore I pressed the button for it. It must have not registered or something.
Landing gear deployed.
All right, so we have now landed. We'll go ahead and refuel and repair. Since we're up here, we'll go ahead and sell off any cartographic data that we have. Shouldn't be too much. We didn't really do that much exploring this. We didn't really do that much exploring, period, but even this week we just did less. So we'll back out of that. All right, cool. And then now we can go head over to Vista Genomics and see what we made as far as exobiology goes. And then we'll call it a day. I don't know if... I'm thinking we're going to go back to another extreme of going back to one of the large ships, so we might do the Beluga next week, just because, you know, why not? It's kind of fun to just take ridiculous ships out to do this. I don't think that we're ever going to do the... I don't think that we're ever going to do the cutter, because it's just... The handling on that thing is just horrible, and it's just not fun to fly, even in space. I don't even want to think about trying to skim that across the ground and try to land it and do any of that stuff. It's like even compared to the Beluga, which is a whale, which is named after a whale. The cutter is just it's hard. It's bad. All right, so we made 94 million credits. So we made several weeks worth of payments. We definitely, we made up more than what we spent this week on our carrier. So we'll take a second right now, go into the carrier management, make sure we top off our funds, And that'll be it for this week. So hopefully you guys had fun. Be sure to click the like button to help the video spread out to more people. Subscribe to the channel to help the video, or to help us reach 10,000 subscribers. Join as a member if you'd like early access to videos, among other perks, depending on the tier that you choose. Or you can just leave YouTube's version of a tip with the thanks button. So again, thank you very much for your time. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Elite Dangerous Deep Space Carrier series. Be sure to come back for the live stream at 6 p.m. Pacific on Sunday and future videos after that. And I'll see you then.